Hey there, and welcome back. If you lead a church, a faith-based nonprofit organization, or any kind of a ministerial organization, I want to talk to you today about one document that can literally change your ability to fund the work of God, the work that God has placed in your heart. That document? Your annual operating budget. I know, but it's such a critical document. Now, I know the word budget can make some people want to reach for a nap, but stick with me for the next few minutes, because by the time we're done, you're going to understand exactly how to build one, why grant funders care about it deeply, and why this single document may be the difference between a grant application that gets funded and one that gets filed away. And at the end, I'm going to give you a very specific, very simple action step. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's start with the basics. An annual operating budget is simply a forward-looking financial plan for your organization. It's a projection of all the money you expect to bring in and all the money you expect to spend over the course of 1 year. It's a plan for your organization's future. It says, here's what we believe God is going to allow us to do, and here's what it's going to cost to do it. Now, and this is the key teaching point today, you do not build that plan out of thin air. You build it from real data. Specifically, you build it from your organization's profit and loss statement, sometimes called a P&L or an income statement, from the previous year. Think of it this way. Your P&L tells where your organization has been. Your budget tells where your organization is going. Your past is the most trustworthy teacher. If your church brought in $180,000 in tithes and offerings last year, that's your baseline. If you spent $24,000 on utilities, that's a number you can plan around. Real history, real data, real budget. All right, let's walk through this step by step. Pull up your accounting software. This could be your QuickBooks or FreshBooks or even your spreadsheet, and run your profit and loss statement for the previous calendar year. That's your starting point. Step 1, I want you to list your income lines. Look at every category of income on that P&L, tithes and offerings, facility rental, program fees, individual donations, special events, fundraising, grants you received. List every single income stream. That's your income history. Step 2, list your expense lines. This could be your personnel cost, salary, payroll taxes, benefits, occupancy, such as rent or mortgage, utilities, insurance, program expenses, the direct cost of running your ministries and services, administrative costs, technology, marketing, communications, office supplies. Each line item on your profit and loss statement becomes a category line item in your new budget. Step 3, apply a reasonable adjustment. Here's where the planning begins. For each line, ask yourself, do we expect this to go up, go down, or stay the same? Is your congregation growing? Project modest income growth. Did you add a staff personnel? Are you launching a new food pantry? Add that program cost. You're building a realistic, faith-informed projection, not wishful thinking. Step 4, check your balance. Your total projected income should meet or exceed your total projected expenses. If it doesn't, that's not a failure, that's information. It tells you exactly where you need to raise funds, how much, apply for grants, or adjust your plans. That gap is the basis of your fundraising strategy for the year. Okay, now for the good stuff. I've got 6 rules of thumb that will save you from the most common budget mistakes in faith-based organizations. Write these down. First, the 50-30-20 framework. Aim to spend no more than 50% of your budget on personnel, 30% on programs and services, and keep 20% for operations and overhead. If personnel costs are eating 80%, that's a red flag that grant makers will catch immediately. Next, the 3-month reserve rule. Healthy organizations maintain at least 3 months of operating expenses in reserve. Even if you're not there yet, show in your budget that you're building towards it. Funders love fiscal resilience. 3, be conservative on your income. Project income conservatively. No more than 5 to 10% above last year unless you have a specific documented reason for growth. Over-projecting income is the #1 mistake that creates a credibility problem with grantors. Also, don't ignore infrastructure. Many faith-based organizations under-budget for technology, maintenance, and administrative costs. Grant makers know the real cost of running an organization. A budget with 0 tech or 0 administrative costs looks inexperienced. Next, I want you to consider how you can diversify your revenue lines. If 90% of your budget is one income source, that's a vulnerability. Your budget needs to show multiple streams from congregational giving, earned revenue, individual donors, grants, events such as fundraising or capital campaign fundraisers. Grant makers want to fund stable organizations. Budgets must match programs. Every program you describe in a grant application must have a corresponding line in your budget. If you say you run a food pantry, there should be a food pantry expense line. Inconsistency is an instant red flag. Now, these 6 rules aren't just good financial hygiene. They are exactly the things grant reviewers are trained to look for. Master these and your budget already starts to tell a story of a trustworthy, well-managed organization. Let's flip the table for a moment and let's sit on the other side, the grant maker side. When a foundation, a government agency, or a charitable organization receives your grant application, they are deciding whether to invest community dollars in your organization. They want to know, can this organization be trusted with money? Your annual operating budget and your P&L answer that question louder than your grant narrative ever can. So, what exactly are grant makers looking for in your budget? First of all, they're reviewing you and scoring you on financial stability. Does this organization have enough revenue to sustain itself and this program? Are expenses in line with your income? A strong budget signals that you are not financially desperate, and desperation is a risk signal for funders. They're also looking for management capacity. Does leadership understand their own finances? A sloppy, inconsistent, or unrealistic budget tells a funder that financial management may be weak across the board. Alignment of resources to mission. Are you actually spending money on what you say you do? A funder will compare your program narrative to the budget line by line. They need to match. Appropriate use of grant funds. Grant makers really want to know that their dollars will be used within a well-managed whole. Your organizational budget gives context to the grant budget. Another critical thing that grant makers are looking for is your ability to sustain impact after the grant. Foundations don't want to be your only lifeline. They want to see a diversified budget that shows your work will continue whether or not they ever fund you again. Next, they're looking for accountability and transparency. Organizations that present clean, clear, documented budgets signal strong governance. That transparency builds trust, and trust wins grants. Here's a truth that most grant training glosses over. Your program narrative gets you in the room, but your financials will determine whether they leave you with a check. I've seen beautifully written grant proposals declined because the budget numbers were inconsistent, unrealistic, or simply incomplete. Don't let that be you. So, why is this so critical for winning grants specifically? Let me give you 5 concrete reasons. 1, it proves your organization is real and operational. A detailed, realistic budget based on actual prior year numbers demonstrates that your organization has existed, functioned, and managed money before. For any grant over $10,000, funders need this confidence. It shows you know the true cost of your work. When you say our community food pantry costs $38,000 per year to operate, here's the breakdown, you demonstrate programmatic competence. That specificity builds a funder's confidence that their dollars will be used efficiently and intentionally. It also tells the story of financial stewardship. Faith organizations are trusted with other people's resources every day. Your budget is evidence of how well you manage that trust. A well-constructed budget says, we are faithful stewards. And grant reviewers, many of whom themselves are people of faith or aligned values, respond to that story. Next, it helps you ask for the right amount. Your organizational budget tells you how much of your program costs are unfunded, and that is exactly the amount you should be requesting in a grant. Organizations that ask for amounts disconnected from their budget data often ask for too little or, inversely, too much, both of which raise red flags. It also positions you for multi-year funding. Oh, that's an exciting bonus right there. Foundations that fund organizations for multiple years want to see year-over-year financial health. When you consistently submit a solid, realistic, well-documented annual budget, you become a low-risk, high-trust relationship for a funder. That's the relationship you want, and it starts with this document. All right, this is the part where we get practical and personal. I want you to do one thing before this video ends. I want you to pick up your phone or open your calendar right now, yes, literally right now, and block off time on January 1st of every year for what, let's call it the annual budget day. Here's why January 1st matters. In most organizations, your fiscal year ends December 31st. That means January 1st is the first day you have a complete picture of the previous year. Your books aren't closed yet. That takes a few weeks, but you can begin the budgeting process. You can begin to pull preliminary numbers, gather your leadership team, and begin reviewing last year so you can plan this next current year or the new current year. Think of it as a financial New Year's Day tradition for your ministry. While the world is watching parades or football games, your leadership is doing something practical, reviewing how God provided for you in the previous year and how you're planning on stewarding what's to come. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. Proverbs 21:5. Let that be your inspiration right there. So here's your January 1st annual budget day checklist. Step 1, run your preliminary profit and loss statement. Pull last year's income and expense totals, even if the books aren't 100% closed. You'll have 90 to 95% of the picture available by January the 1st. Step 2, review every line item. What grew? What shrank? Any surprises? Were there any grants that ended? New donors who came on board? Document your observations. Step 3, review every expense line. Where did you overspend? Where did money go unspent? Are any costs likely to increase this year, such as utilities, staffing, rent? Step 4, identify your goals and new initiatives. What is your organization called to do this year that you weren't doing before? New programs have new costs. Build them in now, not in March. Step 5, draft your new budget. Use last year's actuals as your base and adjust each line item thoughtfully. Balance your income against your expenses and identify any funding gaps. Step 6, present to your church or your organizational board by January 31st. Your board should approve your annual budget. That approved budget becomes the document that you may be requested to attach to every grant application for the remainder of that year. It's current, it's official, and it's powerful. When a grant application asks for your current organizational budget, and they will, you will already have it ready. This is the gift you give yourself every January 1st. You're getting ahead of the game. So let's bring this all home. Here's what we covered today. Your annual operating budget is not a bureaucratic chore. It is your ministry's financial testimony. It tells the story of where you've been and where you believe God is leading you. And in the world of grant funding, it is one of the most important documents you will ever submit. Grant makers ask for it because it reveals organizational health, fiscal discipline, and management competence. It shows them whether their investment is safe. And when yours is well constructed, accurate, and board approved, you stand out in a stack of 50 applications. A clean, credible budget is one of the most powerful competitive advantages you can have. You build it by starting with your prior year's profit and loss statement, your real history, your real data, and your real foundation. Apply the rules of thumb that we discussed earlier. Be conservative on your income. Be honest about your expenses. Diversify your revenue. Keep your budget aligned with your programs, and get it in front of your board every January. So here is your one action step for today. Open your calendar right now and type annual budget day on January 1st. Block 2 to 3 hours. Commit to making it a tradition in your organization. The ministry you lead is doing meaningful work. The community that your church or faith-based organization is serving needs you to be there for the long run. A solid annual budget isn't just about grant applications. It's about sustainability, credibility, and stewardship of everything that has been entrusted to your care. You've got this. Now go build that budget.